Hello there, Jonathan Rayo with Simplified Guitar, and in this lesson, I'm going to be teaching you how to play the song If You Hadn't Been There by Dolly Parton. Now, this song was requested to me by my patron, Sam Sowder. Thank you, Sam, for your song suggestion. Now, before I explain this song, I'm going to go ahead and play through it, and then after I do that, I'll break it down and explain the pieces. So make sure to stick around for that. For now, let's go ahead and play through the song. If you hadn't been there, where would I be? Without your trust, love and belief, the ups and downs we've always shared, I wouldn't be if you hadn't been there. If you hadn't been there, well, who would I be? You always see the best in me. Your loving arms have created me. You held me close, and I believe I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there, holding my hand, showing you care. You made me dream more than I did. I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. Oh, you are my rock, a soft place to land, my wings, my confidence. You understand your willingness beyond compare. No, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there, pushing me on when I was scared. I found God in you, for your loving care, and forgiving me, love, with more to spare. You made me climb and top the stairs. I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. No, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. All right, now before I break the song down, if you want to take a look at the chord chart for this song, you can click right up there to head over to my Patreon page. Now, for this song, I'm going to be using the G chord family, but I am playing with my capo on the 2nd fret, so that puts us in the key of A. Now, I believe Dolly Parton sings it with, we'd have to put it 2 frets higher, so that we're in the key of the G, G sharp, A sharp. That would be the key of B that we would be in there. I think she plays it around this area. But for me and my voice, I'm more comfortable right here on the 2nd fret. Again, we're using the G chord family, so we've got a G, we have a C add 9. If you prefer, you can play just a regular C major instead of the C add 9. We also have an E minor 7, We also have a D over F sharp. You can also play just a D major instead of a D over F sharp if you prefer. And I think that's it for this song. So we're just 4 chords, G, C, E minor, and D. Now, the reason I'm using these variations like the C add 9, D over F sharp, is for ease of transitions. All 4 of these chords are very similar in shape, so it means less movement for your fingers, easier transitions, and that always helps. Now, for the strum pattern, we're using the driving pattern, which is a nice, simple 4-beat strum pattern. We have 4 down strums, and then an up strum after beat 4, and then the pattern repeats. We also want to make sure that we're putting emphasis on beat 1 and 3, so every other beat we're strumming harder, and that's very important to establish the rhythm of this song. So that pattern's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and like that, okay? You can always practice that pattern like that over and over again. For the most part, the chords, we've got the G at the beginning lasting just 1 measure. Then we switch to the C for 1 measure, and then back to the G for 2. Okay? So either the chords are usually lasting just 1 measure or 2 measures. Again, I have that notated on my chord chart with little blue numbers that are superscript above the chord to let you know how many measures each chord is going to last. But let's see. I'm trying to see here if there's any part that's going to be a little bit more complicated. But yeah, I think everything's pretty straightforward in terms of the chord progressions. One thing you want to keep in mind is where the chords take place. So, for instance, you'll notice that the first G that shows up on the chord chart is over the word there. Okay, so if you hadn't been there, we have that first G. Now, you don't want to start singing the song with no music. So usually what I'll do is I'll take the root note of the chord, so the root note of the song, so that's going to be G, and I'm just going to play a G for like 2 measures just to establish the rhythm, establish the tempo, and establish the key of the song. So when I start singing, I'm singing in the right key. Okay, so I'll do 2 measures of G. If you hadn't been there, and then I'll start coming in. Okay, and that's a very typical thing to do for any song. You start off with that root chord, and you just give it a couple of measures to get yourself set up, and then you can start coming in with the singing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this song. Pretty basic, a nice, simple song. If you do have any questions, you can feel free to head over to the Patreon post of this song, and you can make any comments you want underneath this video, and I'm be happy to answer any of my patrons' posts, any of my patrons' questions. So feel free to post it there. And yeah, until the next song tutorial, take care and good luck.